Audisi. It's time to introduce our new guest. It's Bart Lugtmeier. He's the developer of the Audisi One software product that integrates visual radio, broadcast automation, live feeds, and
new products. Of course, we don't make what's already there on the market. We always look at new possibilities to combine software and hardware into a system. So the main theme is I like puzzles and I like difficult puzzles and I like to solve them. So there is a lot of nice equipment around.
That's it, actually. Yeah?
Yep.
Technical people are just like real hardcore gamers, actually.
Yeah,
Gamers
but this is a different game. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
You can see it
solving
as-
puzzles and mathematic kind of.
There's nothing nicer than to solve a puzzle and yes, I did it.
Yeah,
That
that's
feeling, even if it's, well, I press here and somewhere a light bulb
there.
goes on, that's the
Yeah.
greatest thing there is.
But which products do you have at the moment?
Well, it's an integrated product because we like to integrate all kinds of hardware and software. And it's a platform which enables you to do radio broadcasts, of course. But it also enables you to make connections using codecs, hybrids, Skype, live view, etc. Because that's of course, an obviously very important part of broadcast, especially if you do news. You need to have connections with reporters and people who tell about topics. And of course, a very important part is visual radio. More and more, we see the bridge between radio and TV becoming something that we don't know what it will be, but everybody's looking for new ways of broadcasting.
So if you decide to start to develop some software for like visual radio, you are looking at the competitors?
No, not really.
No? What they are doing?
I have the
because
impression
you
that they're
want to have a
looking at
unique
us.
product, but you want to have a unique product.
Yeah, like I said, we don't build what's already there. We like to find new possibilities to combine the features of, for instance, new mixers and our software to create a unique feature.
But where do you start?
It depends. Sometimes you have a dream and you think, well, that would be great to build. And it turns out to be rather impossible, but in the end it's still possible. Or you just have a conversation with a client and say, what would be nice to have the combination of this and that. And then you start building it. So
If you see your clients, they are all over the world. I know Africa also.
Not Africa, the biggest one is in Israel.
Yeah,
so we did
Middle East. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really large. So you have to compare it to maybe the NPO here in the Netherlands. So in our system we run 8 nationwide broadcasting systems plus 7 web stations. And they had to. How come? Well, I've known our dealer in Israel for a long time, from the time I worked at Datec. And at the point there was a tender in Israel. They were looking for an integrated system. So they were looking for digital consoles with automation, with features they would like to have, but they couldn't find a real solution. And then the Israeli dealer said, well, I know the system and we can show it to you because it's already running in the Netherlands. So there was a tender and we were the only party who could do it. So that was great. So we went there, installed it, and they went on air over 1.5 years ago. And that's tough because, well, Israel is a different country, different culture.
In what way is it different? Or is
they're
it
very
difficult?
fast. They're very fast. They're impatient, but they know what they want in the end. So the demand is high, and they like the new stuff. They're not afraid of new technique.
I think there's a whole. We walked yesterday around the convention a bit, and I think there's a special Israel area.
That's our area.
So,
well,
what are their demands?
Well, the highest demand they had was they wanted to have audio over IP. So that's the future. That's the standard. It's the upcoming standard. We still have to get used to it here in the Netherlands. People are afraid of networks and computers, but they said we need that.
And audio over IP means
that conventionally you had microphones and headphones and you had analog cables.
Yeah.
And then we turned to digital around 15, 20 years ago. But at that time there was already the possibility to transport audio over a network. And the network became IP, internet is IP. and you can transport audio and video over IP. So once you have a network up and running... Sorry?
Is it compressed, the audio?
No, this is absolutely high quality linear with very low latency. So you can transport audio from A to B over large distances.
So we still have to get used to it because of the liability maybe of IP, or?
Yeah, but it's something that turned out to be in the mind, because here in the Netherlands, when we started introducing the digital consoles like you have here, we did that 15 years ago, built all the studios, and it turned out that people didn't know what digital was. So they were used to analog cabling, analog solutions, and we introduced digital systems with new possibilities, new options. And,
so that was a challenge for you when Israel also asked for that.
What are the most important options that they came at that time?
Probably the most important feature is that we're turning to the way of working that you are now doing. You are the self-op host. You control everything by yourself. You need to imagine that you're on your own. You need to control the audio. You need to control the connections. You need to control the visual radio stuff, etc. All on your own. That's the challenge, because most systems are, we call them islands. You have an island, that's the mixer. You have an island, that's the automation. You have an island, that's the video stuff. We want to build the bridges between those islands and make it one system. Hence the name Audisi One.
Yeah, okay.
It's an integrated system.
That's the reason why it's called. Okay.
So what innovation did you find out here at the IBC this year that you were like...
Well, that's difficult, but once you're here and you're an exhibitioner, then you hardly have time to look around.
Yeah.
And once you have some spare time, you look around. Of course, you see new products.
But you have to, isn't it?
You have to, but of course, you already know a lot of stuff from newspapers, from internet articles.
So you're either a receiver or an observer?
Yep. Yeah. And it's difficult to see big steps. If you look in other halls, especially on the video side, the video over IP side, that's booming. And that's great, because it opens up a new way to build systems. For instance, New Tech is booming with their NDI stuff.
Can you describe your dream of the future radio studio? What do you think there's in 10 years?
It's a dream we already partially realized, that you can do everything on your own without any limitations.
But if we look at the hardware, software combined...
There's a trend that we're turning not only to visual radio, but also to virtual radio. So the trend is that we see more and more screens instead of knobs. So probably...
Do we have a mixer? A real mixer like we have now at the moment?
No, that's a big discussion. A lot of people say we can't do without the knobs. Others says, yeah, we can. But it's all in the mind. Here in the Netherlands, we say we cannot work with a console that has buttons below the fader. We cannot start stuff with buttons below the fader. In America, they can. So
is
why
it
can't
still
we?
like the same as we started with making radio, like the talents from 15 years old? They start and they learn to make radio with software system, broadcast system. And every country has its own regular system where they learn to work with.
And that's my theory. So a lot of automation systems, including the one you're looking at now, it's, there's an English term for it. It's called skeuomorphism. We like to build software that looks like equipment. And that's because we are used to equipment. We, the old guys, are used to turntables and a small mixer, or CD players. You had two and a mixer. That's why you have a system with two players. But why? The young guys now have never seen a turntable, maybe, from their parents.
That's true. We still have two.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
But
so why do we have two? Why don't we have unlimited? Why don't we work with a list which is already in our head?
Well,
and each line can be a player.
But is it because we are originally visualize the old-fashioned way?
Yeah, and once you see the limitations of that old way of thinking, that old way of working, and you can get rid of that and start all over again. That's what we did. And make it into a system that works in a way that your head works. Then you can focus on the content instead of the technique.
So that means touchable touch screens?
Yep. Or
instead of the hardware that you're used to.
Yeah, and that's what they call virtual radio.
Exactly.
And the next step, that's what we call integrated radio or integrated broadcast.
And that means that you get rid of the extra listeners, of the extra lines.
Yep, that's the point where it starts getting interesting, because you can use the features of a system in combination with another system.
Yeah, you just mix and match
Yep.
way you want it in your head, and you just how do you say that? Drag it.
Yeah, you drag audio, you drag connections, you drag texts,
videos,
and it's like a rundown instead of a playlist and some maybe 4 or 5 screens where you have to combine all information from in your head. That's where it goes wrong.
Bart, how about the outside studio? So like we hear on a mobile studio.
Yep.
Do we still have to need a studio in a couple of years to make a radio show?
Well, that's the same discussion. Do you need hardware, or do you just bring some...
It looks impressive.
Yeah, that's it.
There's also a sort of magic by the old-fashioned TV show, big lights, big sets.
That's true.
The rigging, everything that's around us. You also see it. I mean, let's be honest. You see the attraction with the.
Of course, we want to be entertained, and but entertainment is content, and we are the producers of the content. And at the moment, we are doing some entertainment. But a lot of entertainment has nothing to do with the content you really want to create. That's news or that needs to have value. That's why podcasts are so very interesting at the moment. Because you create content and you don't know how it's created, because it's audio only. People tell you the information.
Yeah.
But once you get visual stuff like this, of course it needs to look nice.
So it's the same like the big cameras. We need, if we see a camera team, they need to have a big camera.
We had big phones
instead of a small camera.
It is.
Because it's no show.
There's a big difference. We were talking about it yesterday as well. Is a big difference if I keep an iPhone under your mouth and ask you a question. You're used to that.
Or you have a real microphone.
Or you have a microphone and a big camera.
But do you think that it's a generation case? Because the younger people, they don't have that.
I have the impression, including my kids, that they don't care. My son was here yesterday because he turned 16 and he's now allowed to visit our world. And he looked around for an hour and said, "Okay, I like the booth."
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
But he's not interested in...
No, what it is?
Absolutely not.
No, okay.
We like the equipment, probably because we grew up with the equipment.
I like buttons as well.
Yep.
I like buttons. I like to,
faders.
Move the faders and
especially the automatic faders.
Yeah.
But it's software controlled. So
it is.
Yep.
And if you can do like on a touchscreen.
Touchscreen is also it's hardware, but it's a different way of thinking, and kids are used to touchscreens anyway. So.
What's your biggest topic for the next year?
Biggest topic is probably more video. So the trend of visual radio is we need to have video. We have it. But like I said, there are new video over IP solutions which give us even more possibilities. I learned that Skype now has NDI, which means you can make a Skype video conversation.
Short for?
I don't even know. It's built by NewTek, and it's a technology that enables you to easily transfer video over the network and over an existing network. And since it's in Skype, you can easily get somebody on Skype.
Is it a network device interface technology?
Yeah, that's it.
You looked it up
Thanks
really
Google.
quick.
Thank you, Google.
So, but it's already possible. I can, in my Skype or in my WhatsApp, I can drag a video and send it.
But now the live video from Skype is on the network. So it means your Skype call can also be used in the broadcast system.
Yeah.
In high quality. With
that's new.
Low latency, that's great.
So you got to focus on that.
That and a lot of other stuff, because there are some very nice new boxes, and like I said, we like to integrate them into our one system.
Hard and software at the same time.
Yep.
Wish you good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck to you too.
Thank you, Bart Lugtmeier from Audisi.
Okay.